I've had very few run-ins with the President of the United States of America. I've been to some of their houses, like Roosevelt's house in Warm Springs, Georgia, and Washington's house in Mount Vernon, and Jimmy Carter's house in Plains, Georgia, but I've only seen two up close. And one of those I was able to shake his hand. I've also been to Eisenhower's house in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and the National Park Service has a junior ranger program there dedicated to the Secret Service, and I have had a run-in with them. They confiscated my football. I took the football to a campaign rally, and I guess they thought I might try to put together a quick game with the president, but they probably thought it could be used as a missile. Well, I thought I would tackle some questions regarding the presidency of the United States, and I have 10 of them from an old SAT prep manual. The questions are multiple choice type questions with 5 answer choices, and they're taken from mini quizzes that are spread throughout the book. I'm shooting for a perfect score, but I think it will be a bit of a challenge. I'm probably going to have to talk some of these questions out and use the process of elimination. The numbering will be a little off since the questions are spread over a couple of mini quizzes, but I have my paper and my pencil ready, and I'm going to start with the first question. Okay, the first question is question number 7, and it's my question number 1. And it reads, George Washington's chief political and administrative advisor in his new government was A. Secretary of State Thomas Jefferson, B. Secretary of War Henry Knox, C. Chief Justice of the Supreme Court John Jay, D. Secretary of Treasury Alexander Hamilton, E. Attorney General Edmund Randolph. I feel pretty confident about this one. I think that it's letter D. Secretary of Treasury Alexander Hamilton. So for number 1, it's D. Question number 2 is question number 9 in the book, and it says George Washington's foreign policy position is best expressed how? A. Foreign powers should not interfere in America, nor fear American interference. B. The United States needed to test its military prowess against some European power. C. The United States should acquire territories at sea to facilitate foreign trade. D. France could count on the United States for a long military alliance against England. Or E. The United States should join in an association of nations dedicated to world peace. Okay, I think that the answer here is A. Foreign powers should not interfere in America, nor fear American interference. So A for number 2. Question number 3, it's question 10, and it reads, Thomas Jefferson's political views could be summed up with what phrase? A strong central government was the best assurance of national unity. B. The U.S. Constitution should be viewed as a general guide for shaping policy. C. The American economy needed to diversify in the quest for world power status. D. An educated elite made up the natural rulers of any society. Or E. Whatever was good for simple rural citizens was good for America. Oh, this one is going to be a guess on my part. I am fairly certain that it is not a strong central government. I don't think that he advocated a strong central government. It seems like E would be the best answer, whatever was good for simple rural citizens. So I'm going to go with E for the third one. All right, question number 4 is question 11 in the book. Which 2 men were most responsible for the Louisiana Purchase? A. Thomas Jefferson and French Foreign Minister Talleyrand. B. Aaron Burr and Robert Livingston. C. Napoleon Bonaparte and Toussaint Louverture. D. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark. or E, John Quincy Adams and James Madison? Okay, I'm leaning towards D, Meriwether Lewis and William Clark, because I believe that they explored that area, if I can remember. So since that's my first impulse, I'm going to go with it. And for number 4, I'm going to choose answer D. All right, question number 5. It's number 12 in the book. Which position in the government usually produced the next president during the Virginia dynasty? A, Vice President. B, Secretary of State. C, Secretary of War. D, Secretary of Treasury. E, General in the U.S. Army. I feel pretty certain that B is the answer. I'm going to choose B, Secretary of State, for the 5th question. All right, question number 6 is question number 1 in the second mini quiz. It reads, in the election of 1824, John Quincy Adams, A, became the last of the Virginia dynasty presidents. B, won with more electoral votes, even though Andrew Jackson won the popular vote. C, won when the election was decided in the House of Representatives. D, lost to Andrew Jackson in the first election with only 2 political parties represented. Or E, won because he exchanged the vice presidency for Henry Clay's support. All right, I am not sure about this one either. 1824, I do not recall here at all. So I would have to guess that it may be A, became the last of the Virginia dynasty presidents. So I'm going to go with A for question number 6. All right, question number 7. It's number 3 in the book. And it states, Andrew Jackson's presidency possessed all of the following legacies except A, the president's reliance upon a team of trusted advisors other than his cabinet. B, a shift in power west as the population moved in that direction. C, frequent use of the veto to increase the executive branch's power and influence. D, a growing focus on the interests of merchants and bankers in government policy. E, the placing of political supporters in government jobs or rotation in office. And we are looking for an exception here. So it would be something that was not in Andrew Jackson's presidency. And I am going to go with D, a growing focus on the interests of merchants and bankers in government policy, although that may not be it. Let's see. I'm trying to remember here. He always sticks out as the president that tried to smash and break up the big banks. So what would be an exception? Let's see. Maybe it's A, the president's reliance upon a team of trusted advisors other than his cabinet. I remember something about him having a kitchen cabinet. So maybe it's A. This one's a tough one. Let's see. I am really torn. I do not know the answer to this one. I want to go with E, the placing of political supporters in government jobs or rotation in office. He seemed to be the president that was for the little guy. So placing political supporters in government jobs, that doesn't seem to go along with that. So E is my answer for number 3, which is my number 7. Okay, number 8, and it is number 15 in the book, and it asks, Abraham Lincoln's stated position on slavery was that slavery, A, should be abolished because it was immoral despite federal laws protecting it. B, should be decided in the territories by the will of the people or popular sovereignty. C, violated the natural equality of all men that was established by God. D, should end by allowing each new African American born into slavery to be freed. Or E, would end naturally as long as the federal government banned its spread. All good choices here. His stated position on slavery, though, is what they're asking. And I think that it is probably going to be letter B. Should be decided in the territories by the will of the people or popular sovereignty. I'm going to go with B for number 8, which is question 15 in the book. All right, question number 9 is the first question in the third mini quiz, and it states, Abraham Lincoln did not consider the abolition of slavery as an option at the beginning of the Civil War because he A, wanted abolition but had no plan for what to do with the freed slaves, B, knew there was no serious support for abolition in the North, C, feared that the slave states still in the Union would secede, D, knew slavery was necessary to supply cotton to the textile mills of the North, E, did not think the country could afford to pay compensation to slave owners. All right, another difficult one. All seem to be legitimate answers, but which one is the correct answer? Let's see. I am going to pick B, knew there was no serious... No, that's not it. Let's see. C, it says, feared that the slave states still in the Union would also secede. So, let's see, he did not consider abolition of slavery. Yeah, I think C makes good sense. Feared that the slave states still in the Union would also secede. So that's my answer for my 9th question, letter C. Okay, 10th question. It is question number 6 in the book, and it asks, President Andrew Johnson was impeached because he, A, held strong views against Reconstruction goals, B, believed the South had never successfully seceded and blocked the return of the states, C, was guilty of a high crime and misdemeanor and the U.S. Constitution had to be followed, D, wrestled with the Congress for control of the Reconstruction process, E, exceeded the powers of the executive branch according to the Supreme Court. Okay. Some of these are not great answers. The one that seems to make the most sense is C, was guilty of a high crime and misdemeanor and the U.S. Constitution had to be followed, or E, exceeded the powers of the executive branch according to the Supreme Court. And I am leaning towards C, was guilty of a high crime. So that is my answer for the 10th question, C. Okay, now I will go to the answers, and we will start here with question number 7, and it's my question number 1. And I answered D, and it was the one about George Washington and his advisor, and it is Alexander Hamilton. So D is correct. Off to a good start. Next one was 9. It's my question number 2. Correct answer A, and I also marked A. So that's good news. It was about Washington's policy, and I got it right. A was isolationist. Okay, next question is number 10, and it's the third question for me. I selected E. Correct answer, E. Good news. And it was about Thomas Jefferson and his beliefs. So that is good news for me. All right, next question is number 11. It's the fourth one for me. I marked D, Correct answer is C. So let me go back and see what that question was. And it is the 11th, number 11. The two men most responsible for the Louisiana Purchase. And I had guessed that it was Meriwether Lewis and William Clark. The correct answer, though, is C. And that was Napoleon Bonaparte and Toussaint Louverture. So, got that one wrong. All right, next one was number 12, and it was my fifth one. I marked B, and the correct answer is B. And it was about the Virginia dynasty, and I got that one correct. Okay, good news. Okay, next one is the second mini quiz, and it was question number 6. So let me turn over here to the answers, and I marked A. And the correct answer is C, and it was about Adams and I think the Virginia dynasty. Let's look, it says in the election of 1824, John Quincy Adams. I said A became the last of the Virginia dynasty. Actually, the correct answer is C, and Adams was actually from Massachusetts. That's right. I've read that book about John Adams. I should have known that. So the correct answer, C, won when the election was decided in the House of Representatives. Okay. Question number 7. It was question number 3 in the book. I marked E, and the correct answer is D. So this is my third one wrong. And let's look. It said Andrew Jackson's presidency possessed all of the following legacies except, I thought it was E, the placing of political supporters. Correct answer, D, a growing focus on the interest of merchants and bankers in government. Should have picked D. Okay, the next question for me is number 8. It was 15 in the book. I marked B, and doggone it, the correct answer is E. So let me take a quick look. This is not looking good for me. The question, it was about Abraham Lincoln's stated position on slavery. I said B, should be decided in the territories. Correct answer, E, would end naturally as long as the federal government banned its spread. All right. Next set of answers. It was question number 9 for me. The first question in this set, I marked C. Good news for me. Correct answer is C. And the next one, the 10th one, it was question number 6 in the book. I marked C, and wouldn't you know, correct answer, D. So let me go take a look at that question. President Andrew Johnson was impeached because I marked C, was guilty of a high crime. Actually, correct answer D, wrestled with Congress for control of the Reconstruction process. Okay, that was not even one of my choices. So, all right, looks like I missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 50%. I don't know. That's not too bad. It's a lot lower, obviously, than what I wanted to get. But I'm just answering these cold, and now I'm making excuses. So we'll see. I might try this again. There are a couple of other quizzes in the book. There's also a diagnostic test, and I might try to tackle that and see if I can answer some questions about the presidents out of that. Okay, we'll see what happens.